I joined ASSE in 1993 because our company makes backflow test kits, and I wanted to learn what ASSE did regarding cross-connection control and backflow prevention.
I joined ASSE in 2011 when I came to Holby because as a manufacturer of a ASSE listed valve, I felt it was very important to understand the standards and to know when the change was coming down the pipeline.
I joined ASSE to gain a better understanding of the product standards that are in the model codes that I use every day designing.
I went to several meetings in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, the North Texas chapter of ASSE, back in the early days. And then years later, I realized as I was using plumbing codes and standards in my work and referencing things, that ASSE standards were important.
Well, I joined years ago when I was a training director. As part of being a part of this industry, you want to make sure that you have a direct way and say in which your industry is run, or the opportunity in which you can have a voice when it comes to certain codes and stuff like that.
So as a plumber, who we always say we protect the health of the nation, right? It's very important for us to stay on top of all new technology, and that's exactly what ASSE does, prevention rather than cure. So if you're going to be good at your profession, right, you have to stay on top of everything new that's going on, and how can we continue to do that job of protecting the nation.
I joined ASSE to become more aware of all the different standards that regulate the certifications in the industry that I'm involved in.
I got involved in ASSE International 26 years ago because I was becoming an instructor in my local union, and I was looking for avenues for education and training to broaden my horizons involved in plumbing, mechanical, and the backflow industry.
I became a member of ASSE because in the state of Minnesota, we were adopting the certification procedures for backflow testers and repairers. So I felt it was crucial to get involved with ASSE so we would have a voice in what's happening in our state. At that time, I also served on the state plumbing board, so it was very beneficial for us to become a member of ASSE.
It was more of an expectation as I entered into the training and education position to become involved with ASSE. And then once I started attending, what really kind of held me into ASSE is getting involved in the working groups, having voices and opinions, and going through that, creating things for the health and safety of the nation.
Backflow prevention. I received my first tester certification back in the mid-90s, and was asked if I'd like to be involved with the ASSE and get on the technical committees, and I volunteered and been there ever since.
The business manager at Local 78 wanted me to stay involved with the industry.
The reason I joined was to be part of the association because the association is part of plumbing.
The code basically gives you a limit of what you're supposed to be putting in, and it kind of gives you the bare minimum what's allowed. And the standard gives you the nuts and bolts of exactly what you're installing there, whether it be a faucet, a shower valve, a bathtub, a urinal. So being part of ASSE actually gives me a hands-on opportunity to not only help develop some of those standards, but to also put input in them. On top of that, ASSE has professional qualification standards, which kind of gives a guideline to an individual of what actually defines a minimum level of qualification for an individual in that particular trade.
You get to network with industry professionals, you get to give back to the industry, and you get to learn from a wide variety of individuals from across the country in various disciplines.
Well, I look at it this way. If you're really truly passionate about what you do, and we all join different organizations for different reasons, this is one that you could have a direct impact on and a voice for yourself. And if we are, as plumbers, we truly like to say that we protect the health of a nation, I guess my question would be, why wouldn't you join?
I believe if you join an organization like ASSE, it gives you an edge up with the guy next to you, keeps you relevant in the industry.
We need to stay on top of the industry standards and always make ourselves the best and most employable plumbers.
I think it's a great idea for any manufacturer of a product that's listed by ASSE to become a member and to be involved. Join working groups, join committees. It will come back many times over to pay for your time and effort. It's a great organization.
Others should look at joining ASSE in order to get more involved in the industry they participate in and become part of the working groups that work on the standards.
I would say ASSE is the leader in backflow training. We have the largest certification program in the country, the most widely accepted one. It is based on an ANSI standard. Our certification is a very comprehensive certification covering all aspects of the industry, not just backflow testing, but cross-connection control as a whole, from non-testable devices to methods to testable assemblies.
Tell you the truth, it's all about the connections you make here. There's a lot of people you're going to meet that you don't realize you're missing out on, different perspectives, different ways of doing things, and it's always, plumbers, your education is always happening. It's never going to stop. So why don't you get involved with the people that really know what's going on?
We need more volunteers to continue to develop product standards, the professional qualification certifications, and all of the other programs that we have going on at ASSE. And we need to have engineers representing our sector of the industry at these meetings.
The things that happen at ASSE affect a plumber's career. The decisions that are made for the various professional qualification certifications really have a bearing on how we perform our jobs. And I think it's key to be involved in these organizations so we have a voice in that as to what decisions are being made, and we can make the industry better in the long run.
By belonging to ASSE, it helps you get a better understanding of the actual items that you're installing or actually maybe working with. And being part of this gives you the opportunity to see all the ins and outs of how these items are actually tested or how they're developed, as well as a qualification. By not doing that, you're doing yourself a disservice.
ASSE has their stamp on just about everything that you do throughout your plumbing career. And the thing of it is when you have a chance to sit at a table and make a difference in your own life, that is one thing that you need to do. If you have a seat at the table, that one vote can make the difference.
I see all the time where people quote the codes and standards and they don't know what the codes and standards say. And you really need to know what's in the codes and standards and to know what's required, but then also to know where there's room for improvement. There's always room for improvement, and that's why it's important to be involved in the codes and standards arena for both building better standards for products for health and safety reasons, and then going to get those adopted into the codes, because if it's not referenced in the codes, then there's no enforcement.
Big thing is that your voice and opinion really is listened to here, and a lot of times ideas that you bring to the table are things that others aren't even thinking of. So it's a very, very good group of people to kind of get involved in.